everyone. Welcome to the Pikeville City Manager's Report. I'm your host, Jill Fraley-Dotson. Today's special show as we talk about upcoming Hillbilly Days 2019 in the city of Pikeville. Philip Ellswick joins me. He is the city manager for the city of Pikeville. Also Andy Linton and Jimmy Taylor, who make sure everything runs smoothly during the event, right?
We get paid to have fun.
No pressure.
Absolutely.
Guys, thanks so much for joining us. This is an exciting month in the city of Pikeville.
Absolutely.
We always get excited about Hillbilly Days. It seems like the day that the festival is over, the planning has already started for the next year, and here we are again. Time flies.
It does.
We are going to go through a whole laundry list of things that are going to go on, some changes that are going to happen this year, and some things to make your travel plans just a little bit easier as you navigate your way through. But first, I do want to talk to Philip a little bit about some things that some business we need to get out of the way. And we talked last show about some business incentives for people who might be toying with the idea of opening up a small business or locating in downtown, and we talked about some pretty important incentives that they could look at, and those incentives now have been adopted by the commission. So let's update everyone on those.
Yeah, there's a number of incentives that we discussed in the last meeting quite extensively, and they're great for both the property owners and the business owners. So there's a whole laundry list, so to speak, of incentives, but those have been adopted by the commission at their first meeting in March. So those are now the official policy of the city. They're available for use. So if you're a business owner or a property owner and interested in pursuing those incentives, you need to contact Meta Trimble, who's the Main Street Director, or Brad Sloan, the Deputy City Manager.
Yeah, those were very extensive and a lot of wonderful opportunities for people who have wanted to have a small business or have, or who are planning a small business. So make sure you contact Mentor Brad for that information. Right. Also, something we mentioned in March and certainly now is in full swing. We are planning a visitors center or event center, if you will, at the top of Bob Amos Park, which is going to be really exciting. But because of that, the road had to be closed. So it's going to be closed for the remainder of the year. Right.
From the horse barn up will be closed. You won't be able to access the overlook for the entire 2019 calendar year and probably part of early 2020 as well. That entire area will be a construction site and doing utilities work plus constructing the building. So it's just not safe for people to be up there.
Yeah, but you can certainly still get to the horses.
You can, but we apologize for that inconvenience. But the end result will be very nice. It
will be. And if you haven't heard about the event center, it's going to be a great facility that businesses that come in that want to have meetings, maybe conferences and conventions that maybe the expo center is too large for, they're going to be able to have breakout sessions or actually rent that space, not only for businesses or conferences, but also for people who want to have showers, birthday parties, weddings. It's going to be huge, I think, up there, especially with the view that you have. So looking forward to that new facility. It's a beautiful structure.
Yeah, we are really looking forward to having that open and available for folks.
Absolutely. Another thing that we've talked a lot about, and it is nearing completion, going to be ready for production, is Silverliner.
Silverliner has been on our radar screen for a long time, but that building is now complete, and the city has transferred that to Silverliner, so that is now their facility, and they'll be in production there very soon.
Yeah, very, very soon. And it's funny that you say that. Yeah, Silverliner has been one of those companies and businesses that we've talked about, seems like for 2 years now or longer.
Right.
And every time we get a great update on it. And if you haven't been to the industrial park, I encourage everyone to get up there and take a look at it because it's a gorgeous facility and going to really be a staple of our community for years to come.
Yeah, that building is very picturesque, so to speak, for an industrial park, and really sets the tone for all the development that'll be in that park in the future. So that's we hope to build more buildings there ourselves and then attract more tenants, but also to see a lot more development there.
Certainly so. And we've talked about Inner Blue. That's not going to be there now, but that space is opened up, and I have no doubt that we're going to be able to recruit wonderful businesses to take that space.
Well, that's certainly our goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Boards and commissions are something that we often discuss, and we want to make sure that if you have an interest on serving, that you do get on the website and see what's available.
Right. We have a questionnaire on the website that if you're interested in serving on a board, just provide your information of what your interests are for service. And we will very likely be in contact with you as we're seeking new people to serve on boards.
Certainly so, and with those boards, there are so many different facets that our community members can serve on, and we need everyone
Right.
and their input and their emphasis on certain projects.
Yeah, those boards are very important to the city and how we operate and how we plan for the future. And we really want a cross-section of dialogue and perspectives. So I encourage anybody that's interested to serve.
And they all seem to have a really good time and put forth a great effort in making our city the best it can be.
Yeah.
You know, this early season, January, February, and especially into March, we had a lot of wet weather.
We did.
I'm sure it's somewhere around record rainfall for certain parts of our region, but we, in the city of Pikeville, not only in Pike County, but in the city of Pikeville specifically, suffered a lot of problems as a result of those heavy rains and saturated ground. And we have begun cleanup and repair of several of those locations. So kind of update everyone on where we did see problems and what's being done to correct those.
Yeah, we had about a dozen slides throughout the city. Some of those were on private property, but a number of them were on city property. We had one at Bob Amos, just in the kind of the switchback there as you go up toward the horse barn, which we've cleaned that one up. It was small. We have one at the horse barn as well. It doesn't endanger the barn by any means, but we are working now to begin that cleanup, and that's going to be a very long process. There's a multitude, well, not a multitude, but there's a few slides in that area that need to be addressed to really solve the problem. So we're working on those now. The ones that will really impact people's travel patterns and traffic are, there was a slide on Walters Road, that will be in repair in the very near future, and will likely cause traffic to be stopped at certain points. It won't be a large impact, I don't believe, but there will be some impact on that community. And then Katy Street at Cedar Gap and Summer Street at Cedar Gap, both lost essentially one lane of those streets. So we're repairing those now, and there will be some impact there as we have crews in the area working on them. So just be patient as you go through those areas, and just be cognizant of the workers that are there, and we will get those repaired as quickly as possible.
Yeah, as before we began our discussion today, we talked about the different places that there were slides, but I think, US 23, again, down in the Floyd County area, suffered another massive slide, and that has brought that road down to 2 lanes going in the northbound direction. But really, with the rain that we've had this year, I can't imagine some of the problems that we may have seen had we not taken the initiative years ago for the bypass project to hold that hillside back.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. We've always had slides in that area, but thankfully with that project to repair that and prevent that, it's been very successful. Or we could have had some fairly massive slides in that area.
Absolutely. Well, best of luck in getting everything cleaned up, and I hope the rain at least will hold off for a little while so we can dry out. And I know that you, Jimmy and Andy, want to make sure there's no rain in the forecast, at least from the 11th through, say, the 14th of April.
Exactly,
right?
for Hillbilly Days.
For Hillbilly Days. That's where our discussion is going to lead yet next. And as I said at the top of our discussion today, it seems as though as soon as Hillbilly Days is over, we start planning for the next year, how we can make it bigger and better. And it's gone on for decades now. And this year, some changes are going to be made to make traffic flow a little bit better, to keep you from having to try to find a parking place downtown as far as transportation goes, and to eliminate some of the congestion right smack in the middle of town. So we're going to go over all of those things today. And I know, Philip, you're thankful for these guys for showing up to talk with us today, because they really do put forth so much effort to make Hillbilly Days run smoothly.
They do, and like you say, it begins planning for the next one as soon as we clean up from this one. And Andy and Jimmy have both been very instrumental in that for the past year, and probably know more about Hillbilly Days than anybody else.
They're like the encyclopedia of Hillbilly Days, so I'm going to pick their brains now. Take the compliment, okay?
Take the compliment.
There you go. So we've talked to you before, Jimmy, last month when we discussed the new visitor center at the Expo Center, but that is something that we really want to stress to people, especially getting into the tourism season. Not just with Hillbilly Days, but if you're planning events coming up even later in the year, it is so easy now to get in there, check out the Expo Center, check out the visitor center, but go ahead and book your reservations for various events.
You can book your RV park reservations, you can book shelters, community centers, all from the kiosk we have located inside. Also, we have brochures that explain what's going on in Pikeville and around Pikeville for regional tourism. So you can go in and not only find things about Pikeville, you can find things that are happening in Letcher County, Floyd County, Paintsville. All kinds of information is available to you right there. So if you want to stay in Pikeville and play elsewhere, stay here, play there, come back and see us.
Yeah, all about the regionalism of our area. And it's a friend of mine and I were speaking the other day about how we are so centrally located to so many different adventure points, if you will. I mean, if you want to go to the Breaks, if you want to go to Jenny Wiley or the Mountain Home Place in Paintsville, we're just a short drive. I mean, 30 minutes either way you go, north, south, east, west. We're right in the middle in the hub.
The
so
hub.
Stay here, play in the region.
Absolutely.
Really dedicated to the regionalism of our area and making sure that people come in and visit us. The kiosk in there is a great way. The river trails are going to be busy very soon.
Busy very soon, yes ma'am. They're getting ready to open up April 1st. The horse stables are already open, and kayaks will open up April 1st. And she's already got tours already booked.
Really?
So yes, she sure does. She's doing a marvelous job up there.
Guess I need to step in that kiosk and make sure I get my reservations too.
Well, while you're there, stop and get some more Pikeville branded merchandise
How about
also.
that? Great segue. Pikeville branded merchandise is also available there.
And you can also see our new visitor's guide.
Yeah, this is something that we've talked a lot about. And especially if you live in the city of Pikeville, I always say that a lot of times when you live in an area, you forget about the wonderful things there are to explore and to do with families on the weekends, or if you're taking a long weekend break and just need some time off. We have so many things here that we forget about, but the visitor's guide has so many wonderful things and highlights not only shopping and dining, but all the adventures that we have. So make sure that you pick up one of those if you go inside the visitor center. And also there's some information in there about dueling barrels and some of the things that we have downtown that we do want everybody to know about.
Absolutely. Dueling Barrels gives their tours. Not only do you get a tour of the distillery, they also give you a brief history of our heritage,
Yeah.
the Hatfield McCoy. So it's a great tour, and we're very lucky to have them here in Pikeville.
It's a great story and really a phenomenal building if you haven't taken a tour. It is literally a work of art, and you find out so many things
Those
that
stills are beautiful.
gorgeous. I mean, you just really want to stay in there and take pictures. I mean, they really are pretty. So if you haven't been there, check that out. Something that you've worked really hard on, and I got to give you kudos for that because you're the first one that made me stay in there and download the app, the new app that can tell me everything that I need to know. If I need to book an event or if I need to get my calendar out and say, oh, here, I want to pencil in this event or anything that's going on, that is something that everybody needs to do. So tell us all about the app.
Our app's available for Android and Apple. You can download that today. It has a events calendar. So if you're wondering what's going on in Pikeville, you click on the calendar. It's a little red little tab. You push it. It tells you exactly what's going on every single day, the time, the place. And you can also, when you click on it, it brings up a map. So you'll know exactly where that event's going to be held at.
Yeah, so make sure Android or your Apple phone,
Android
go
or Apple.
ahead, download it. Simple to do. If you just type in Pikeville, it usually shows up.
First one.
So it is the Pikeville Tourism Guide, and it's going to be a game changer in the way that we plan.
I like the way you say that.
A game changer. The
And
way
don't
that we
forget, it also shows all the attractions, the dueling barrels,
Yes.
Jenny Wiley, all the towns, all the different stores and everything that we have downtown is on that app as well.
So you can't miss. I
Can't
mean, it's a
miss.
one-stop shop. Andy, before we get, Jimmy, let me ask you one more thing. There's a Judy's Place 5K that's already been scheduled, so update us on that.
That's Andy.
That's Andy.
That's
Andy.
Judy's Place 5K is going to be held on April the 27th.
Okay.
They're going to start the race at 9. Registration starts at 8. It will be taking place at the same location it was last year, which the start and finish will end by the city park there in front of the Garfield House. You know, Judy's Place they have a great following. So
Yeah.
last year, I believe they had over 300
They did.
participants in that race. So come on out. At the same time, as you know, that April is our Child Abuse Awareness Month. So we're actually they're having a little festival in the park from 10 to 2. That's going to be there.
Inflatables.
Inflatables. They've got vendors. They're going to have people there with a lot of information. The police are going to be there to do some fingerprinting and just a lot of information for child abuse awareness and just kind of, you know.
Sparky will be there from the fire
Yep,
department.
we got Sparky.
He's always a hit.
Oh, yes. Kids
Yeah.
love him.
So it's going to be a big day, all day. So come on out and run the race and then kind of hang around and
And have a little bit of fun.
have a little bit of fun.
How about that? Yeah, Judy's Place for Kids has been in our community for a number of years. I can't even think about how many years it's been here. Named for First Lady Judy Patton, who has such a heart for children and the protection of children. And working with that board before and serving on their board, I know firsthand how important it is to have that in our community, but certainly our region.
Yes.
And it really is one of those efforts that everyone needs to get behind, because there's nothing more special than the children of our region, and we need to make sure that we support Judy's Place for Kids. So you still have time to register.
Yes, you do.
And get out and have a great time. And then certainly, take the kids too, because you can push a stroller, they can run along with you, and then have some fun in the park afterwards.
Exactly. Now, they can register online at aptiming.com, correct?
AP timing, and then they also have I believe they have a 1 mile walk as well.
Yeah.
So if you want to participate and just walk, you can do that as well.
Jimmy can do that.
Yeah.
Right?
I can walk.
You can walk that. No, it's a great event, and I've been a part of it before, so definitely get out and support that wonderful cause. Before we get into our big discussion about Hillbilly Days, Andy, I do want to update, because I saw something that our drag races are going to start back up really soon.
Yes.
That's your baby.
That's my baby there. We're going to be racing. I put the dates out. The second Saturday of every month, starting in May. Our first one is the Cops and Outlaws, and I do believe I've heard that there might be some streetcar outlaws might be showing up to race.
Okay.
So
Hint, hint.
can't confirm or deny that at this time, but second Saturday of every month except for June. Now June, everybody's asking me on Facebook already what June's not on the calendar, and that's because June is our Jeep thing event. So we're having the big Jeep event in the obstacle course on the track, so we couldn't race and drag race at the same time. So we're going to take June and make it all about the Jeeps. And then we've got all kinds of good things coming up for the drag racing. We got Roush Racing Team coming, Brett Wagner's coming back. We'll have a Chevy night, and it's going to be back 6 classes of racing, our true streetcar class, big tire, little tire class, plus 3 index classes. So all day Saturday, come out, enjoy the fun. There's going to be lots of racing going on.
Yeah, bigger and better than ever, sounds like. And the Jeep event, I'm blown away by the Jeep enthusiasts that there are. And several friends that have these, and then there's a whole community. They're kind of like Harley Davidson.
Yes.
People who are enthusiasts of the motorcycles, they're the same group of Jeep people too, and I think it's really neat.
Yeah, I got a kick out of it because when the East Kentucky Jeep Club came to me and said, "Hey, let's do this," I said, "Okay, well, we'll have 100."
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, we'll just drag race and still have them here." And right now we already have interested on our Facebook page over 1,500 people that are looking to come. So we'll definitely have a packed house. We've got a lot going on that weekend. I've got a kids zone. We've got, all the different businesses in town are on board. So, we have bands Friday night and Saturday at the Expo Center. We have vendors inside the Expo Center. A lot of different vendors have already signed up Jeep products and those kind of things. We have an RC car competition inside
That's
the expo.
fun.
So we have a mud pit. So if you want to come down and try to get your Jeep in the muddy, we've thought almost everything on this one, so it ought to be pretty
Now
interesting.
that sounds like one of those that is going to be on the app that we need to go ahead and mark our calendars for right
Yes.
now.
You can also
Yes.
register online at itsajeepthing.com.
It's a jeepthing.com.
Sounds like a great event, and we'll hear more about that coming up
Yes.
as we get closer to the event. Now let's turn our attention to Hillbilly Days, because we want to make sure everybody knows about the new events and new direction things are going to take. So when does it all get started?
It all gets started Thursday, April the 11th. The thing that we need to talk about first, though, is how we're doing Huffman Avenue.
Okay.
We've moved some vendors around, moved them toward Main Street, 2nd Street, Division Street, so that you're more walkable is what I need to say. It's a lot more walkable there in that area.
Correct.
Yeah, in the past, we've had 2 rows of vendors on Huffman Avenue, especially around the parking garage and down to Main Street. It's very congested in that area. It's not really, it's not possible for public safety personnel to get there in the case of emergency, or even for UMG to get through as they, are doing the cleanup activities during the festival. So in order to address that situation, we decided to move some of those vendors, just have 1 row of vendors in that area, and move the 2nd row of vendors to Division Street. So there will be a large square now for a steady flow of traffic through that area.
Yeah, traditionally, we've not really had vendors on Division Street. It has been closed off for walking purposes and for public safety to get through, but there is a large space there that is going to be utilized now. So if you don't find your favorite vendor, say on Huffman Avenue, that's traditionally been there, just step on over to Division Street, make sure that everybody knows that that section of town, that street, is going to be filled with vendors this time.
It will, and the one lane of Division Street will remain open to police traffic going to the jail or what the case may be. So we'll have that divided with bike rack, and it'll be much better, I think, but just be safe as you get into
And
that
as far
area.
as vendors go, you can always download the Billy Finder app.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah.
That's something that we will let everybody know about. That is the coolest thing. That's the easiest thing to find, because I'm always, I know where my favorite place is. I have 2 favorite places, and I'm already looking forward to it. One is on
Amish Donuts?
Hambly, and then the Amish Donuts right across the street, so that's 3, and then the strawberry shortcake place across from BB&T Bank. Yeah, everybody has their places lined out before, but what's it called? Billy Finder?
Billy Finder app.
Billy
yeah.
Finder app.
Just put in Billy Finder and you can download that. And it's for both devices also, Apple and Android.
Excellent. So Thursday night, the opening night, the 11th, and we do want to mention too, Hillbilly Days is a weekend sooner this year than it normally is because of the Easter holiday falling on the normal weekend. So mark your calendars a little bit early. The 11th, fireworks, going to be that evening, always dark 30. I love how we say that. And then opening ceremonies, which is a really, really nice, neat event, is going to be at 5 o'clock in the city park.
5 o'clock at the city park.
Yeah, all the main hillbillies come out for that to open everything up, and I know that Jimmy Kitty and different hillbillies that have been coming for years love that event. Another popular event are the stump speeches that happen at the courthouse on Saturday. When is that going to be?
Stump speeches will start on Saturday at 10 a.m. at the courthouse, and I was told that there was already 6 to 7 lined up to speak.
Really?
Already. Yeah.
And that's always an interesting event. I mean, if you want to see some true colors from the crowd,
Absolutely.
you need to come out and take part and listen to that. But certainly one of those things that we do enjoy. The parade is always going to be on Saturday at 2 o'clock, and we would love for people to sign up early to get on that Hillbilly Days parade list. How can they do that?
You can sign up at pikevilleky.gov, or you can sign up at pikevillemainstreet.com.
Okay. Tickets. Also, everybody wants to know about the tickets for the Hillbilly Days concert. This year, one of my favorites, traditional country artist Travis Tritt, Marshall Tucker Band, and the Cadillac 3 are going to be there on Saturday at 7. How do people get tickets?
Appalachian Wireless box office on Main Street, or you can get tickets at Ticketmaster.com.
Still available. Or you can walk right in the Expo Center door next to the kiosk and next to the Visitor Center and pick up the tickets there.
Yes.
Always a great way to go ahead and get
Or
your...
just knock on the door and ask for Josh Kessler. He'd be happy to
You
help you.
could do that. You
Yes, you can.
absolutely could do that. Always got to ask for Josh. One thing we do want to make mention of, and this is something that I've taken advantage of in the past, I know a lot of my friends and family have, especially those that come in from out of town, are the trolley services that are available, because let's just be honest, it is a nightmare to try to find parking downtown when you want to enjoy the festival. Okay?
Especially when you've got 100,000 people here in town.
You know, why not park somewhere and have somebody drive you and drop you off? So
That's
let's
why
talk about, there's been a couple locations added this year.
There has. We're talking about trolley services, and it's going to be every 30 minutes. Their drop-off point is at Huffman Avenue, there at the Expo Center. Our pickup locations this year are the Kentucky Department of Transportation, Pikeville High School, Pikeville's Farmers Market, and Town and Country Shopping Center. That's every 30 minutes. So when you go and you're seeing how many people we have, it's going to be a lot easier for you to park, let's say down here at the Town and Country Shopping Center, get in the trolley, come and enjoy your day instead of trying to fight traffic. And then you just get back on the trolley, go back to your car, and you're good. It's a stress reliever. I can't tell you how much of a stress reliever that is.
It really is, and it makes things so much easier for families to come in. They just go park at once and come on in, and especially if you're able to park in the Town and Country Shopping Center, because it comes straight up the road, or even if you're at the Farmers Market, straight up the bypass, straight into the Expo Center, and it does make things a whole lot easier and alleviates a lot of stress and maybe anxiety that can come along with trying to find the perfect parking space for Hillbilly Days. Also, a new addition this year, and I think it's going to be really, really neat for a lot of people people that came to the festival. There's a new craft fair going to be located inside the Expo Center. Now, obviously, it's not going to be on the floor, but this is going to be in the concourse area. So what can people expect when they come to that fair?
Local vendors, Kentucky vendors that are Kentucky proud,
Okay.
handmade items, and it'll be on Thursday and Friday inside of the Expo Center there on the concourse.
Going to be a great addition.
Yeah, that's an effort to kind of get back to the roots of Hillbilly Days and focus on Appalachian crafts and crafters. And there should be some demonstration.
There's some
crafts
demonstrations
in that area.
yes. On the box office side of the
Okay.
expo they'll have some demonstration areas out front.
So yeah, so if you're coming off Main Street and you're there at the Expo Center where the Billy Johnson stage is, you can just step on into the Expo Center and take advantage of those. And maybe if it's hot or if it's cold or if it's raining, you can step in there for a little bit and have a break too and shop some great products from our Kentucky Proud vendors. Something I'm excited about is RC. And that's all I'm going to say is RC. So which one of you wants to discuss what RC
Go ahead.
is?
All right. RC's a nationally known painter, and he uses spray paint. Minta, during her travels to the National Main Street Conference in Kansas City, found him. And what he does is he spray paints mostly portraits, I do believe. And he'll be here during Hillbilly Days doing 3 8x12 panels. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's going to be doing local historical figures.
Okay.
So we really don't know exactly which ones he's going to be doing, but it should be a great thing to watch. You could imagine somebody using a can of spray paint to paint a picture of Philip. I mean, I can't imagine somebody with that kind of talent
I can't imagine that either.
being able
Like
to do
see
that.
it. No, but that it really is one of those art forms that is kind of blows your mind a little bit because I can take a can of spray paint and try to paint a
word.
board or a word or
Yeah.
something like that. But when you think about somebody being able to maneuver a can of spray paint
Yeah,
into
can of spray
something
paint.
gorgeous, and Minta says that he's absolutely amazing.
He is.
So really take the time to find him. I'm sure it can be on our Billy Finder.
Billy Finder.
Will be
Yep.
available to find RC, but really nationally renowned for the way that he does his artwork. It's not really, I don't want to call it a mural, so to speak, because there's going to be 3 panels. It's different than what we have at Jenny Wiley, but certainly something that I think will be really fun to watch, something fun for our kids, and maybe encourage somebody else to pick up a new art form. But RC is going to be a really cool addition and neat thing for Hillbilly Days this year. And the last thing I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to let Andy do this one, since he knows this gentleman, I think, fairly well.
Just a little bit.
Just a
little
little bit. Arm wrestling with world champion Travis Batchett.
Yeah, he'll be here for the Hillbilly Days. He's going to come. He'll be here Thursday evening, and Friday and Saturday he'll be doing some demonstrations over at the Expo Center. Friday from 11 to 2.
I love how you say demonstration.
Demonstrations.
Yeah.
We don't. He doesn't really compete anymore. He says, and this is his words. There's nobody out there that can beat him. So,
Aw, little smack talk.
I haven't seen anybody beat him yet anyway. So
Except-
for Jimmy Taylor.
Except for Jimmy Taylor.
Jimmy Taylor.
I think he was asleep. But anyway.
We need to get him a belt.
We have a great. We have a great. The tournament will be Saturday at 1 o'clock. We're going to have 2 arm wrestling tables going, so hopefully we'll have a big enough crowd to be able to. It'll be a good contest there. And then, like I said, I've already talked to him, and I know he's got some money up. He's going to put some money up for anybody that can beat him. Should be interesting.
No doubt. Should be interesting. We'll see if Jimmy can beat him one more time. Guys, we're just about out of time. So one more time, tell me about what the app is and where people can find it.
The app is available for Apple and Android. You download it on each one from Apple or Android, and you can visit Pikeville.com.
Visit Pikeville.com.
Visit Pikeville.com is our
Don't
website.
forget City's Facebook page, Tourism Facebook page. All the events are listed there. Guys, we are out of time. Thanks so much. Lots to look forward to in the month of April. This has been the Pikeville City Managers Report. Thank you so much for joining us.